Hey guys, so we're back at it today. I'm going to be trying to finish this digging out of this bed. That's my goal, is to get it dug out. But man, my head is really killing me today. It's been hurting since yesterday afternoon. So we shall see how far we get. I am medicated, but that doesn't mean anything. However, I had an epiphany. So yesterday when I got home and I was editing this, I thought I should look up and see, like I know what the good winter cover crops are, but what should I do for summer? Because, you know, it's got to try to stay alive in here. And then it occurred to me, beans. They're an amazing cover crop. And I have tons of beans, dried beans, seeds that I can plant. If you really want to, so beans are a legume. That means that they are nitrogen fixers. They can draw nitrogen from the air, and they form these nodules along their roots that then collect that nitrogen and hold it in the soil. And nitrogen is necessary for plants to put on all of their green growth. I'm generally not deficient in nitrogen in this, in any of this soil. I've had it tested a bunch of times. Clay is terrible for being too hard, but it does have its good properties in that it does hold water, which can be good, or it can be bad, as we talked about with the drainage. But also, clay tends to hold on to minerals too. And so heavy clay soils tend to not be very mineral deficient. Clay is a very small molecule. And so it makes it hard for things to filter through, obviously including water, but nutrients as well. However, anytime you can grow a nitrogen fixer, that's a good thing. They are most effective when you harvest them as they flower and don't let them set fruit. If you let them set the fruit, the beans, a lot of that nitrogen from those nodules goes up into the production of that fruit. But you still get some nitrogen fixation. And my plan is to, you can hear how hard this soil is. My plan is to plant thickly. That's the way you do it when you're trying to use these as a cover crop. So like every 4 inches or so. These are going to be bush beans. And what they'll do is they will, number one, sequester a lot of nitrogen, but two, they'll form a dense mat of leaves above ground, which then prevent weeds from growing. Then, when you cut them down, you just chop and drop right on the bed. That creates a huge amount of biomass that then acts as a green manure. And if I end up getting a couple harvests of beans out of them, that's good too, because it's still green manure, even if it's not as much nitrogen. So that's my plan, and I'm really happy with it. That's what we're going to do in this bed. We're going to plant a whole bunch of beans, and I don't have to worry about it. Like, it's not like I'm trying to get a harvest, so I don't need to be stressed out that it's not growing flowers or anything like that. I can just enjoy whatever it does. This soil, you guys, it's like rocks. Anyway, that's my plan. And after I started thinking about it, I am still planning to cover crop every bed that doesn't have something growing in it this winter. And I figured, why not, since I can't grow a fall garden at home because it is too shady by the time the fall rolls around. We just have too many trees around there and the sun gets too low. Why don't I grow veggies here? We're gonna have freshly dug up beds with fresh compost in them. I can, in the beds that we're not cover cropping, and it's not gonna be a huge amount because it's just the 4 of us, but I could do in one bed, in a single bed, I could do my broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, just all the things that I've always wanted to grow in the wintertime, a fall garden and a winter garden, and I can't because it's too shady at my house. So I think that's gonna be fun. Plus, because Mike said to me, well, I thought the reason you weren't gonna fall plant is because you can't keep the seedlings alive. And I was like, yes, but that's trying to keep flower seedlings alive from October to March. We're just talking about fall garden. I'm gonna start seeds, put them in the ground when they're transplants, probably in like September, maybe October, and then they'll be harvested by Christmas. So I like that plan. Feels good. I'm going to be using the ground, keeping living plants in the soil for as long as possible. And if I don't get a harvest because they get eaten by critters, not that big of a deal because I'm not going to get one at home anyway. So it's kind of a win-win. All right, you guys, this is hard work and I need to focus. So I'm going to put on a book and just keep hacking because that's really what this is. I kind of wish I'd brought a mattock out. That would have been better. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully I can get this last 10 feet done. Then we can fill the bed and plant our beans. Holy cats. That's I'm gonna switch my holy cow to holy cats because that is a phrase that my grandma, who's gonna be 102 in September, has always said, and I've always loved it. She's just always exclaimed that way, holy cats. That was intense. I feel like that digging was harder than the digging I did yesterday. Could be because my head really hurts. Could also be that now we are under these 2 oak trees and there's more roots because I definitely ran into a lot of roots. Not big roots, but enough. But it was definitely more compact, a lot more rocks. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. I don't know what I was thinking when we backfilled this originally. I don't know. What was I thinking that would grow anything? Anyway, this is entirely of my doing, this problem. So it's only right that I fix it. Okay, so we've got our beans. Lots of beans, and some of these are very old seeds. So we were going to plant them tight and packed together, and some will germinate and some will not, and that's all okay. So the first is, and this is from 2022, these are dragon tongue beans. So all of these are bush beans. Dragon tongue, I'm just looking to see, I'm pretty sure you can eat these raw, but they can also be dried. They're like little reddish orange guys. Anyway, we're going to plant this whole packet. I thought about soaking these prior, but then I was like, whatever. It's not, again, I'm not like, if this works, great. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. Next, we have a dry bean mix. This is a soup blend. I have grown this before, and there was a lot of really yummy beans, and they made a really nice soup. What else do we have here? We have Provider bush beans. This is a great one. This is very dependable. This doesn't even have a date on it. It's that old. Yeah, so hopefully this will work. Then we have tricolor beans here. We've got these growing in the garden at home right now, and they're doing great. We've been harvesting out the purple ones. And then we have another dry bean. This is Jacob's cattle bean. So all I'm going to do is use my hand and just do a drill and densely seed. It's going to be super easy, super quick, and then we'll be done. Well, the camera did it again. It erased everything that I just recorded. So yeah, you got to see the beans that I selected. You didn't miss much. I put them in the ground. The irrigation's down. I used my hand to drill a drill on either side of the irrigation. We put the seeds in and covered them up. So doesn't look like anything right now. Hopefully we'll have a bed full of beans to act as a great cover crop coming up in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so coming up next, not today, because I need to go home and rest this head, but in tomorrow's video, and I'm super excited about this. It's hard for me to not want to do this today, even though I don't feel well. The arch that I have ordered for these 2 upcoming weddings has arrived. It arrived yesterday. It's a metal arch that I have no idea what this thing is going to be like. So it took me, God, like a month of searching to kind of find something that I thought might work. Both of these weddings are going to be, and most of the time when people want floral arches, their weddings are outside. So outside where wind can knock them over. So you have to be very particular about the type of arch that you build a floral arrangement on. And most venues do not want something that pokes into the ground, right? So it has to be a freestanding arch that you could just pick up and walk away with. So I ordered this online after lots and lots of searching. It's supposed to be solid metal. It's supposed to be something I can take apart and put back together again multiple times because this is not a permanent structure. So I have no idea because there was no place where I could go to touch and feel and see how sturdy something was. I just had to take a chance on this. So I'm a little anxious about that because we only have now 3 weeks left before this wedding. And hopefully this will work. So in tomorrow's video, we are going to be setting up the arch at home. I need to do a dry run on it. I need to set it up, see how long that takes. I mean, it'll take longer the first time because it'll be new, but kind of time that because I am only allowed onto the venue at a certain time. And then I have that small window to build the arch and cover it in flowers. So I have to do a dry run. So we will be setting up the arch, seeing how sturdy it is, coming up with a way to anchor the base to make sure it doesn't fly away, but also will look pretty. So I'm thinking potentially containers that I either fill with some cement at the bottom that then we can fill with water to put an arrangement at the bottom. Maybe something that climbs up out of that container. I do not use floral foam, which is the classic way to do a floral arch because floral foam is full of microplastics and it's terrible for the environment. So what we use instead is things like chicken wire and reusable plastic water tubes for the stems, the individual stems. But you have to be able to hide all that infrastructure with the arrangements that you make on these arches. So it's definitely an art. And I've only done one before. The arch already existed in the person's garden where they were having their wedding. I was still nerve-wracking because I had to show up. I did not have any pre-prep time. I just showed up on site and built it then, the morning of the wedding. And it went fine. She was happy with it, but so I will be harvesting a whole bunch of stuff in the field to use in this sample that we're going to do, and we'll just see how it goes. But I'm very excited to do it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very instructive because either this is going to be a good sturdy arch that I can take apart and put back together multiple times. It's not like IKEA furniture that, once it's together, it needs to stay together or it'll fall apart. It needs to be something sturdy that I can weight down and won't blow over in the wind if it's weighted properly. And it needs to be something that I can attach florals to and be able to hide the infrastructure so that it looks effortless, like it's just there floating. So again, I'm excited, but it's going to be a job. So join me in that. That is hopefully tomorrow's video. And keep your fingers crossed that it's going to work so I don't have to send it back and try something else because we only have a couple weeks before this wedding. So yeah, but we have a field full of beautiful flowers to do this sample arch with, and I am so grateful. Even though we've had a terrible time with the soil, the parts that we've worked on are producing beautiful flowers, and it gives us lots to choose from to do this arch. So I'm very, very grateful. And I'm also grateful for you guys for being here every day that you are. And I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.